The Aardvark Live passed 100 subscribers! Yeah!
That means 100 of you people like us. Or hate us and you want to watch what...
Our downfall.
Yeah. Anyway, so because of that, people requested a reaction video of Ethan here of Harper's birth. So that's what we're gonna do. Lol.
Forward again to week 40.
Here we go, week 40,
and
the
now
big
this
one.
is when the doctor had estimated our delivery
so
date.
cute.
We have our date night, date day. So let's make the most of it. That particular night, I had a really rough time sleeping. I had gotten up to pee so many times, but around 5:30, when I went to the restroom, I noticed that there was like a different colored discharge than I typically would have. It was slightly pink and cloudy. And so I thought, that's interesting. I wonder what that
That's
means.
one way to put
but
it.
it was at 5:30. So then I went back to sleep. I decided to call the medical center and they said, oh, well, that discharge discoloration is very normal. It's very, don't be concerned. Have you had any contractions or has your water broken? I said, no.
Okay, yes, I remember this, and then they were like, you don't.
So I took a hot shower and that's when contractions started to happen. But the hot water really, really helped. So
Foreshadowing, hot water really, really helped.
Oh, yeah.
Birth story number 2, hot water was involved.
Ethan gets a call from his brother saying, well, if Grace's water broke, I think you should go to the hospital. I think that's what you're supposed to.
Oh my goodness, everybody was like, it was basically, right, like, you took a shower, I'm cleaning up all this fluid, and then as I'm like wringing out the towel, things sound so awful. But
was it that bad?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
It
But as I was
felt
like,
like that for me.
as I was cleaning up, I shoot a bunch of texts to my family, and I'm like, oh my gosh, her water broke. We're just chilling though, you know, like we might head to the hospital in a little bit. They told us to relax. Then I put my phone on the counter, I jump in the shower, you're chillaxing, and I come out and there's like so many texts of like, what do you mean you just chill? I'm like, her water broke? Wait, did her water break? Because if her water broke, go to the... And then that was, then my brother called and was like, hey, just checking in, like, what are you guys doing? And I was like, just watching YouTube. And then he was like, oh, well, I don't know, you guys probably should go to the hospital.
And I was like,
Yeah.
like what?
And I was just frozen. I could not like think about anything other than like let this pass. Okay, so now it's 1:28 and we start to head to the
Yeah, it pretty much went from like, oh my gosh, we're having the baby, and I'm smiling and driving, and then I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, and then I look over and you're just like ripped it off. I was like, ah! And then you were like, drive! Ah! And I was like, whoa, okay, we're having the baby. Okay, we continue.
So anyway, we park in a loading zone. Didn't know where we were going. He ran inside to figure that out, and
It seriously felt like, you know, maybe it's just me, but you think when you walk into a hospital to give birth, there are going to be people being like, are you here to give birth? Like, come on, over here. Is she, like, about to push a baby out? But it was like we walked in, and Grace was, like, unable to, like, walk or talk, and then I was, like, running around, like, from one, and then I swear, like, I ran to, like, a desk, and then they were like, oh, no, it's over there. And then I was like, oh, my gosh. And then, like, ran to another desk, and then they're like, oh, yeah, well, she needs to come over here. And then I'm like, could you have, I don't know, there probably were signs up, and they were probably like, oh, my gosh, this is, like, the 10th dad to do this today.
Well, and the reality is, they all tell you to...
Oh, do like a hospital tour before you give birth.
Yeah, and we just never did.
Yeah, but look, all right, we can't be the only ones out there.
Yeah,
We've never done a
emergency-
hospital tour.
Emergency births happen all the time. Like, you can't be prepared for literally everything, because... No.
Yeah, it was scary. Scary. It felt like in the horror movies where the hospital was just empty and just like 3 fluorescent lights were on. And we were like, hello?
Flickering.
And then like an empty
It's like,
bedpan just like
the light turns on.
out into the hallway. Wow, that was a classic example of you and I both just telling our own jokes and then just being like, well, anyway. Good morning, sweet Harper. Good morning.
the nurse was like,
Felt like that.
oh,
Yeah.
you are more than 9.5 centimeters dilated. Like, let's go. So I like heard and saw a bunch of nurses like running up to our bed, rushing it.
At that point, it was full on episode of ER. It was like, we got a code baby, and then they were like, ding, 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 and like flipped up the bars, and they like handcuffed her to him, and she was screaming. And then they were like, go, go, and they pushed her through, and then they were like, who are you? And threw me a bag, and then go, and then I was like, ah. We went down a labyrinth of hallways, like, and then they were like, in here, and then they led us into this room where there was the big table, and then they had like a trash bag halfway like taped to the bottom half of the table, you know, where like things are gonna take place. And the trash bag was like draped all the way down to the floor, and there were like 8 people in there with gowns and gloves and hats and the whole kit and caboodle. And then they were like, you, get over here. Long story short, then I held on to Grace's leg, and then they were like, hey father, do you want to witness the miracle of life? All right. And then I peeked down in there, and boy, did I witness it. I also...
Have you had nightmares about it?
No, I'll just never forget it. They were like, she needs to breathe. You need to breathe. It was like, deep breaths.
I think at
the baby's
one point,
coming. Grace, the baby's coming.
In my head, I was like, I'm trying to breathe. Like, don't tell me what to do. It hurts.
Oh yeah, and then that was the funniest part, was where they were constantly like, don't push, and you were just like, I have to push. Oh, okay, well then push. It's like,
I know. I'm like, I can't control this.
I think if you were to ask, like, did I poop? They would tell you, but I think it's like not
Did I
policy.
poop?
you'll never know. No.
You don't know, do you?
And I'll never tell. No, because, so they had that big, like, tarp thing that your, like, bottom half was basically just on. And then, like, everything minus Harper, you know, like, they caught Harper and everything else just literally fell onto the floor. Like, wrapped in this tarp. And then, like, basically, because now having witnessed the second birth, which was far more, like, in your face, but also much more chill, like, it was then the, what's that called? The placenta that comes out after, with like all of the afterbirth. Oh my goodness. So that all just like spilled onto the floor, like from John Carpenter's The Thing. And then they just like, were just like, all right, you know, blah, blah, all in a day's work, and just like cut the plastic, wrapped it up, slung it over their shoulders, and just like walked out, and that was it. When it's like that, it's just, you know, it's the miracle of birth, but then you realize, like, wow, 90% of this is just garbage.
Just to give a little context, if you're curious, birthing the part of the baby's head is so vastly different than when the rest of their body comes out, because I distinctly remember the like fattest part, or fattest poop part is...
To sum it up, one part of the birth is like a thunk. The other part is like a...
That's so accurate! It's so accurate! I did not like that. I did not like that.
Yeah.
Once they put her on my chest, all I could think was like, oh my gosh, like she's still connected to me. There's a thing called delayed blood cutting, which...
Yeah, that was the worst. I even, like, being a complete layman in that room, having no idea what was going on, but like understanding tension, seeing the cord attached to Harper, they just like put her up on Grace's chest, and the cord's still attached, and still like,
and I'm not
coming, you know, there's a fulcrum there that is Grace, that is being pulled against, and I was just like, that looks like a taut cord. And then you could tell Grace was just like holding
frozen.
Harper, but was like unwilling to move because it looked so uncomfortable.
Yeah, it wasn't painful, but like literally, I'm not drugged up at all.
Nothing.
So you can feel everything, and the adrenaline is basically gone. Joe.
Oh, and I did cut the cord, and it felt very jelly-y, like very squishy with the scissors, the cowie. So it was like you cut it, and then it's like you expect it to just be a clean cut, so you're like, haha, and then it like snaps, and then you're like, oh gosh, that was the miracle of life.
Did anything gush out?
It like whipped me in the face. No, I don't remember anything gushing out. It's, if you didn't know, it's like a strand with like a...
It's like a Twizzler.
Yeah, and there's like a little thing running around it. And it was just so alien to me that it was like, they were like, do you want to cut it? And I was like, Sure. And then I like cut it. Was like, and I was just like, good lord. And then I cut it, and it was like, all right, please. Does anybody want these scissors? Like, I'm done.
So anyway, thanks for listening.
Hey.
I know.
No. Thank you for telling. And thank you for listening to me react. 100 subscribers, baby!
Yeah!
You know what that means? Aardvark Life, 100 more babies!
Oh gosh! I could do it.
Sana, what do you think? Should we have more babies? Should we have another eggie?
사야, 애기 남자 아니면 여자 원해요? 여자, you
What's
want
that?
another girl?
Tiny Sana, you were walking.
You know what this is? It's a guitar.
Just like that. All right, well, everybody, from us at the Aardvark Life, thanks for subscribing to our channel. Share it with your friends. Send it to your coworkers. Send it to AFV. You know. Help
Yeah, show
spread
us
the
some
word.
love.
Send us cash.
I was literally gonna say we'll take like Grubhub, DoorDash.
Oh man, we'll take DoorDash.
Cash App, Venmo, you know.
Amen. All right, love y'all. Bye.
안녕, 그게.
So, can you cook it? 안녕.